and welcome to the Fixing Football Podcast with me, Martin Naylor. And as you can see, for the very first time, live in the flesh, I'm joined by Liam O'Meara, Scott Naylor, and Luke Foley. Boys, how are we doing?
Very, very well, Martin. Thank you. Finally lost enough weight to be brave enough to go on a video, so here we are. 100 episodes in it's taken for me to actually show my face and appear from my little troll cave that I live in. So, hello everyone. But it's nice to see we've got some special guests with us today. Scott, How are you doing?
I'm very well. Back after a hiatus from the Fixing Football Podcast, but excited to be part of the 100th episode. Who knew we'd get this far?
Me. I did. I've been saying.
You did say that.
Well, to be fair, you didn't really, Scott, but well, fair enough. What have you been up to, Scott?
I have been a busy boy. I've been pursuing a passion of mine in the world of professional wrestling. I've been creating some content on that. So you can find me on TikTok. I'm sure I can share the app somewhere. And yeah, I've been focusing a bit more on that really, but keeping a watchful eye on the mighty Chelsea, as Luke has also been doing as a loyal, avid supporter of the mighty Blues. I've been keeping a distant eye on football, but I've still been keeping up with what's been going on, so I'm ready to go. Luke, what about you, mate? How are you getting on?
All good my side, yeah. Just keeping on with the running. Again, just trying to enjoy United, but yeah, all good.
So tonight's it's just about us, really. It's just about getting to 100 episodes and sort of a bit of a reflection on the past sort of year and a half of doing this and where we're at, and a look back at things that we enjoyed and then things coming up as well. So as Liam sort of inferred, Scott and Luke are taking a step back from more regular podcasting, and they'll still come on when we need to interrogate some Chelsea expert or Manchester United and get into them. But going forward, it's going to be a lot more me and Liam putting the world to rights and creating the most perfect game imaginable. So, Liam, we'll start with you. What have been your favourite parts about doing this 100 times?
Oof.
Actually,
so many favourite things to go
not
into.
100 times yet. Do you know your attendance record out of 100?
Right. Do you know this?
Yeah.
Oh, can I have a guess? Can I have a guess then?
Do you know mine, by the way?
Well, I reckon yours is 99 out of 100.
Yeah. Well, this one.
So not perfect. So in that sense, we're all the same, really. So I reckon mine is 90.
87.
Nah, that's bullshit. I'm well higher than that.
Scott, Luke, do you know yours?
I'm going to say
bottom table.
Yeah, you've got to be bottom of the table. I'm going to say 38.
For you, Scott?
I think Scott's higher than that. Can I guess Scott?
Yeah.
I'm going to go 43 for Scott. I'm going to go 39 for Luke.
They're actually both tied on 43.
Oh, are they?
Really?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
After tonight. Yeah. Well, it was 42 before. Yeah, I had a fun process of flicking back through all the episodes and going through our attendance. So,
Busy guy, yeah.
This is my life. Lots of stuff to talk about. So, Liam, go on. You as you was going to say, what's been your highlight or favourite bit about doing this 100 times?
Favourite bit. Well, I've enjoyed being on the Twitter. That's been fun. Making friends on Twitter. You know,
is this an exclusive? Are we revealing that you are in fact Twitter admin?
No, I'm not. That's actually Luke. So it's at Luke Foley who does the Twitter admin. I enjoyed the Euros particularly. I think I would say that was a lot.
That was a lot.
It was a lot, but it felt good because we were really stuck into it, and obviously England getting to the final. I know we don't seem to see it in a good light, that tournament, even though England did get to a final in it. But I felt like it was quite a good experience as all doing that. So I'd say that was a good cover.
Luke, Luke has a clear favourite part of the Euros, don't you, mate?
It's definitely our internal kind of game that mine apparently made up
Well, you tried to branch it out to the world and get 1 million people involved, like there was some sort of prize, and then was disgusted that I actually won this time around. The 6th time I'd ever done it.
No. It wasn't the 6th time. You've only done it 3 times, and you make the rules up as you go along.
With you, and you question everything. This is the part that people don't see. If people could see our WhatsApp group during the prediction league, it's just a mess, and it's very abusive and accusational.
Every score needs to be checked. Don't worry, I get my own table out and I have to check it.
Sorry, Liam, I interrupted you. Go on.
I can't remember what I was going to say. Was it something else that I liked?
Euros, yeah. Well, you said you talk about doing it in the Euros and stuff.
I enjoyed the Barcelona episode as well. I thought that was a really good episode.
Yeah, that's one that we had in the locker for a while and was just looking at the right time to do it. Scott, Luke, whichever one of you wants to go first. Any highlights or likes about doing the podcast? Actually, just chatting away.
I always like our prediction episodes. They're always good fun. I like that we all have to nail our colours to a mast, some way, shape, or form. We may have, Matt, you pointed up there. Maybe there's an update on the old predictions. I quite like that because we get to rinse the shit out of each other for what wild things that we're going to predict are going to happen over the course of the season. And yeah, it's always fun to keep track of those as it goes on, who's failing and who's not.
I suppose my particular highlight is usually talking about the fall of the Arsenal.
Fall of the Arsenal. We've barely dropped past third for 3 years, and apparently we're in some sort of decline every time.
Failings. That's what I like to go
I'll take
into.
that. Yeah. You do like that, even though it's thinly veiled and usually have to weed through a load of mystery and metaphors to get to your actual point, but I know you enjoy it.
It's just because, from a United point of view, since we've started this, it's just been worse and worse every time. I'm kind of running out of things to say about him without just kind of giving up.
Are you blaming the podcast for Man United's downfall? Is this what's...
I think that's what it is.
There's a strong correlation.
Well, Scott, I'm glad you mentioned the predictions because I thought it would be fun. And it's about that time of year anyway. I know we're not right at the end of the season. A few more games left to go. But I thought it would be a good time to review that, as you know, we might struggle to get together again for the end of the season 1. So I don't know where should we start? So the 4 of us, and this is available on Instagram for anyone who wants to see this, but the 4 of us, we chose champions, then a top 4/5. Whoever made up the European places, domestic cup winners, relegation, top scorer, first manager sacked, best and worst signings. And we all predicted them at the beginning of the season. The 4 of us were split between Arsenal and Man City to win the league. Looks like none of us are going to be right on that one. So we can all take the L. The top 4 for myself was made up of Man City, Liverpool and Chelsea, which is still on with Arsenal winning the league. So that top 4 makes up the...
It was the 4th one.
Well, I had Chelsea, but this was before we were guaranteed...
Sorry. Arsenal as well, obviously.
Arsenal top, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Liam, you had City winning the league, and then Arsenal, Liverpool, and Tottenham. That is not still on anymore. Scott, you had Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea, so that's still on. Luke had Man City, Liverpool, and Newcastle, so that's sort of still on as well. That's especially if we include the next slot. So we chose 3 who would make up the next European slots. I chose Newcastle, Man United, and Aston Villa. Two out of 3 probably. Scott chose Chelsea, Brighton, and Man United. I can't see Brighton getting there, but Chelsea's probably right. What do you think?
I'd
Brighton
say
are
so.
at the cup. Yeah, Brighton are at the cup now, so that might help them.
Oh, sorry, no, that was Liam's choice. Chelsea, Brighton, and Man United.
Yeah, United have had a shocker, haven't they? It's been horrendous.
Scott,
Tottenham and United have really let me down more than they let anyone else down here. I think.
Well, Scott, you chose Man United, Tottenham, and Aston Villa for the next 3.
Damn.
And Luke chose Tottenham, Aston Villa, and Brighton. So I think
Liam wins.
We're all, well, whoever's got Brighton aren't the most likely, even though they still can get up there. Man United, we've all got Man United. Well, apart from Luke, actually. Funnily enough. So I guess before we dish the points out, that's the one we have to wait and see most on. Domestic cup winners, I had Arsenal and Newcastle, as did Luke, and 1 out of 2 is not bad. Liam had Liverpool and Man City. But Man City is still in the FA Cup, so that's a potential 1 out of 2.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Oh, good.
Scott had
City.
Chelsea and Aston Villa.
I think they both got knocked out first time of asking, didn't they?
Oh, Villa. I think Villa will win the FA Cup. I think
Villa
they
in the
should win.
semis, yeah.
I thought they always the League Cup they got knocked out of early, wasn't it?
So again, all of us, well, me and Luke definitely 1 out of 2, and there's still potential there for some points. Relegated. Now I have got the actual bottom 3 because it is going to be Southampton, Leicester, and Ipswich. I don't think we see anything else at this point. Who's Southampton already confirmed? Luke was the only one who didn't go with Southampton. You've gone with Everton, Wolves, and Ipswich.
Wolves again.
You can't
They
stand
just
them.
won't go down. And them and Everton, they won't go down.
Liam has gone with Everton, Southampton, and Ipswich. Thinking Leicester would be the ones. It's not a terrible shout. There's no.
Well, I mean,
there's no
they
crazy
weren't-
suggestions here.
I think they were in a fight until they hired Ole Gunnar Solskjaer Mark II as manager. Like that Van Nistelrooy manager appointment is probably one of the worst appointments in the history of maybe all of football, really.
I mean, they may have scored a goal by the time this episode goes out. We are pre-recording. Happy Easter, everyone, by the way. But
Is that when it goes out? I was trying to work this out earlier. Easter Monday.
Yes.
Tuesday.
Easter Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah.
Happy Inset Day, all the teachers listening out there. And Scott went with Southampton, Leicester, and Everton, thinking Ipswich would be the ones to make it out alive. Unfortunately, it looks like all 3 will be going down. Southampton, like I said, confirmed. Any shocks here?
Nah. I think Ipswich 12 points off safety.
They're not close, yeah.
Yeah, it's not happening, is it? Wolves
No.
are down there though, Luke. Like,
Before-
if it makes you feel any better, Wolves are
Yeah.
still right down there.
I've got a football question, which I know is not really the theme of the podcast today. But where do we think Liam Delap will be playing next season?
Well, there was the story released today as we were recording that his release clause upon relegation will be £30 million,
Really?
and I think there'll just be a
Key,
ridiculous
Every-
war.
Every single team in the league will be interested in that.
He'll be getting a big pay rise, I know that, because that's what it'll come down to now. Who's offering him the best deal? I don't think he's got to worry about playing. It's a topic I wanted to cover in a little while, but after Harry Kane, England don't really have a lot of strikers available, especially ones coming up through. I mean, after Harry Kane, there's Watkins, Ollie Watkins, and then the drop off is quite severe.
So
You're looking at
you got Watkins, Solanke, Tony. Who else?
And so a journalist recently posted this
Rashford.
on Twitter. If you wanted to play up front, that is. A journalist recently posted this about footballers who were valued over X amount, and you're looking at. I mean, you're not. It doesn't take you long to get to Eddie Nketiah as like one of the next closest to getting a starting place for England, which is. I mean, the drop off from Harry Kane's insane.
Interestingly, on this, something else that was a highlight of the podcast, obviously our awards night that we went to, Martin.
Yeah.
And those our Scandinavian friends we made at Score 90, they did a post on this, didn't they? Like, they loved the graphics.
Yeah.
We met the lad who feels like he does all of them and no one else does anything. So I can't remember what your name is, but obviously I'm assuming you're not really listening but whatever, you guys are well too important to listen to this. Couldn't believe it when what is it, like 2.6 million followers they had or something like that.
Yeah, their engagement's ridiculous.
But anyway, he did like a England first, second, third, and fourth team, and I think Nketiah was his striker in his fourth.
Yeah.
He didn't have Delap, so he went. I think it was Harry Kane striker 1, Watkins striker 2, Tony striker 3, and Nketiah striker 4.
I mean, it doesn't really matter who's fourth choice. What we're getting at here is there isn't a big pool of talent there, and I think that's going to be a worry. over the next coming years. Luckily, Tuchel probably won't have to deal with that, and as long as Harry Kane's fit, we'll be all right. Anyway, let's move past that. Top scorer, we all had Erling Haaland. I don't think any of us saw Mo Salah's season coming the way he's been able to score penalties and tap-ins at a phenomenal rate. So we all gone Haaland, so we'll be not picking up any points there. I think Salah's on 27 and Haaland's on 21.
Yeah.
So he usually gets a couple of hat-tricks now and again, so he might still be within the chance. We'll see.
Well, he's going to be injured probably for the rest of the season, Haaland, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, that's right. He is at time of recording. I think he's about 7 weeks, Guardiola said, so...
Yeah, because Guardiola's quite bitter with, he might be fit for the World Cup qualifiers in the summer. Like,
yeah.
Shut up, Pep, you weirdo.
The next
he's
one
just
is...
injured. Just injured, Pep. It just happens, yeah? Not everyone's always... Anyway, sorry.
And he just... By the way, he's not had a great... His injury record at Man City is phenomenal in comparison to the rest of his career, like previously, where he has struggled, so... Yeah.
Strange, that.
The next one we spoke about was first manager sacked, which is a little bit more black and white, and we do have a definite winner. Luke went with Oliver Glasner.
You were close on that, because they had a horrific start, Palace, didn't they?
He was close. It was neck and neck at one point. Liam and Scott both went with Sean Dyche, who has since been sacked, but he wasn't the first. The winner was me with Erik ten Hag. Was the first manager. I think it was after 8 or 9 games he'd gone. I'm not, maybe a few more. I'm not sure, Luke.
Yeah, it was.
I can't believe it was this season. I can't believe he was there this year. Like,
it feels like ages ago, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And it's weird. It's mad, isn't it? Sacking ten Hag's where United's problem started this season.
Yeah.
I don't know. For the predictions, I predicted United are going to be horrendous. I think Ten Hag is probably the worst thing that's happened in the last 20 years in life.
So it shows how easy Luke life is outside of this podcast. Best and worst signings now. Now, this one was interesting. Scott, you went with best signing Pedro Neto and worst signing Nicholas Fulkrug.
Oh, that's a good shout.
There's an argument for that one. I'll let you have that.
I think that's tapping.
He has been injured a lot, though. And he had a good game this weekend. I'm not saying that saves him, but he has been injured a lot, hasn't he?
Well, we'll get to the others first. Liam, your best signing, do you remember?
Solanke, wasn't it?
Dominic Solanke. Worst signing?
I can't remember now.
We spoke about it on a recent episode. Aaron Ramsdale.
Yes, and I think that was a horrendous signing. For everyone involved.
Yeah. It was a poor choice of where money was spent and not a great signing for Aaron Ramsdale to go up for another relegation in his short career.
It'll be interesting where he ends up again next year. In fact, if Leeds go up, they will definitely buy him because they will not go up with Meslier. So if they go up, he will definitely be at Leeds next year.
Luke, do you remember who you went with?
I think I picked some obscure one for the worst signing to Sir Norris Scott. Something to do with Chelsea.
I remember your worst one. It was Maatsen, wasn't it?
Ian Maatsen, yeah. Which, in fairness, he hasn't featured a lot.
It was for some bizarre reason because the deal was structured weird. Like, you didn't even think it was because he was going to play bad. You're like, oh, the financials are so ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a PSR signing, PSR deadline day, wasn't it?
Yeah,
pretty much, yeah.
Fucking 100 to them.
But he played in the Champions League final the season before, and Luke just completely wrote that off. Like, fraud. This is fraud. But guys literally played in the Champions League the season before.
Oh, and do you remember you said for your best signing?
No.
It was Amadou Onana.
No, I didn't say that.
At Villa.
Yeah, he did. Not Andre Onana. Yeah, the
Villa centre midfielder.
Yeah, because you were like, oh, we should have had him, and then.
Yeah, and since I said that, he's saying that he has appeared a few times, but he's not been the highlight, has it, for that Villa team?
Competitive midfield, that.
It is. You're right. My best signing was Ilkay Gundogan. I thought, yeah.
It's not age well.
I've never seen a man as slow in my life. I include myself in that.
Come on, Mike. Yeah. I'm sure you said if you had some few highlights in there. You mentioned a few of your best signings. Until recently, it was laughable. But one of them's kind of...
Are you talking about the greatest striker in the world, Mikel Merino? People can go back and listen to this episode, but I said if Arsenal win the league, that signing will have proven important. This was before he's shown up with a dislocated elbow in his first training session or something like that. We missed him for 12 weeks. Irrelevant. That's not who I chose. I went with Ilkay Gundogan. No one foresaw Man City's demise this season. And my worst signing, which I'm going to argue is the winner here, was João Felix.
Oh, yeah, so that was a whopper.
That's a bad one.
That was a bad one.
He currently doesn't even play for Chelsea.
Yeah,
he's already gone, hasn't he?
It was a bad one the last time they signed him. Well,
See, I disagree, but I don't think I can disagree on this being the worst signing. I think João Felix.
Out of them four.
I want to fight Fulkrug's case here to get this like Golden Raspberry Award, but I'll give it to Felix. I think that's fair.
How much was João Felix again?
I don't know. That's a good question.
And here's a question about João Felix. Has he ever been a good player?
Well, I asked one of my Portuguese friends about this because I was like, "What's the perception of him?" Because at one point he was like tipped to be like the next wonder kid, wasn't he?
Yeah, when Atletico Madrid spunked 120 million on him or something.
Yeah, so I was like, "What's like the perception of him like in Portugal? Like, do they see him like what level did they see him at?" And it's always been one of those where like you can see a little something with him, but he just doesn't know how to put anything together into the professional game. I think if you put him in the baller league or futsal, he'd probably be the greatest thing you've ever seen. But
Baller league.
In a professional game, I don't think he's got it. But it's a shame because I like him. And when he does do something, when he does pull a madness, it looks great. And it's like, this is the guy we've signed. And yeah, it just never works out.
Mention an honorable mention from last season for my worst signing. Because this season, I don't know what's happened. You must have heard this podcast, but it will be. I don't know what's happened. He's been unbelievable this season. He must have heard it. He must have heard me slag him off, say it's the worst signing of last year, and then gone, right, I'll show Luke Foley.
He listens to it before every game on the bus on the way. He's got you in his ear.
I can't let Luke down again. I can't be the Luke having show me up like this.
It's because he's playing for the coolest club in the Premier League. The club that, let's be honest, if you weren't a top 4, top 6 player, of course you want to play for Fulham. Like, nice part of the world, not really any pressure, getting paid an absolute wedge, nice surroundings, and why would it's the absolute best life you can live playing for Fulham. Like, you don't have to worry. What you're going to worry about? Nothing at all.
I don't disagree.
Never angry about anything, are they? Like every other club, the fans are kicking off about something, at least maybe once a year. The owner, what's on the pitch. But I've never heard Fulham fans kicking off about anything.
Ticket prices. They get annoyed about ticket prices, but that's not your problem. That's not your problem as a player, is it? Not on your back, are they? Like, they're going to have that bar.
Liam, who's the uncoolest club?
Who's the uncoolest club?
Yeah.
Burnley.
Yeah, I'm barely not in the Prem.
All right, they're in the Premier League now.
Yeah.
Uncoolest club in the Premier League.
Uncoolest club.
Man City.
Ooh, that's a good shout.
But they think they are. They think they are, though, as well. That's
yeah,
what's
it's a bit try-hard, isn't it?
Yeah, they're like, look, Liam Gallagher supports us, so we're cool. But if you go there, it's sterile as it gets. Like, it's... And then, like, that band area outside, with the live music on before, it just makes you... Oh, that's pretty bad. Anyone else? Any other takers on uncool?
Everton aren't cool, are they?
Wolves
are not cool.
No, I don't know. Everton's quite... When Goodison Park, I don't know about the new ground will be like, but Goodison Park, when it's full, and like Z-Cars plays, it has got a bit of a thing about it, I think. Like a bit of a rebel feel. Like, we're against Liverpool. Like, they obviously are obsessed with Liverpool, and that's not cool. But... Like, you go there and it's like you feel like you're part of something that's a bit edgy.
Well, I'll tell you what, Luke. One thing you did predict this season was how the upcoming trial and charges would affect Man City. And it seems to be something that has rang true, is that when their trial started is when the wheels fell off, and they've yet to return.
I claim that. Mystic Luke.
You can have that one, mate, because I think we've referred back to it.
The only reason of City's drop off, confirmed by science, and it can only be that.
Right. Well, that's a fun opening half. We will return very shortly, and we'll see you after this short break. And we are back, and we're still here, live, in flesh. A few questions for you all. Said this was going to be a bit of a Q&A one. So I've got a few, and then we've got some listener ones as well that have been submitted.
Have we?
Yeah.
Oh.
I haven't been slacking around, but when I speak on the podcast, people listen and reply. So I've got one for you lot. Sporting event that you would most like to go to and watch live outside of football?
Oh, I can easily answer this one. It's this week. The Masters.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, 100% the Masters. Not even close. Oh, mate, the other one I would give, and I'll let everyone else answer after mine, is the Ashes in Australia. That as well. MCG Boxing Day test. 100,000. Watching them get spanked by Australia.
That is the only cricket match I would want to go to, and only for the day. I'm not a big cricket guy. Luke, what about you?
It's a good question, that. I've always wanted to go to Crucible, And me and Liam say every year we do never plan it or anything. I've always loved to.
Yeah,
where was the snooker coming from?
There's like 1,000 tickets for it, Luke. It's like the hardest. It's notoriously the hardest thing to get tickets for. To go, it's a tiny theater it's in. It's like at the Octagon in Bolton. It's like having the World Championship there. It's like you just can't get tickets for it.
And then the other one is probably an Olympic event, track and field. I don't know which one though. I'd see. Maybe I'll watch the 100-meter final or something like that, or 5,000, 10,000, whatever events are going on. Because you've got all the kind of different elements to it if you're watching that.
5,000 or 10,000, really? You want to sit there for 40 minutes or however long it takes them? I don't know.
I don't mind them.
Minutes.
Yeah, I don't mind them. I've started watching that a little bit because obviously of Ingebrigtsen. I actually genuinely have watched a few of them, and I find them more engaging to watch than the 100-meter. It's it's just over in a second. It's more about them walking out, giving it the old innit, and everyone just getting excited. It's not actually. I feel like there's a bit more to watch with the longer races.
Scott,
you've got all the other events as well. You've got all the shot put, travelling. There's lots of events on the day, so it'd have to be a good day.
Luke chose the Olympics. Oh, that's fun.
The world champion of throwing a stick the furthest. Nice one.
Which outside of football, all the other sports, all the other sports on that one day. That one, I want to choose that one. Scott, go on.
So I've actually already been to mine before, so that I won't mention that one. But I think one that I haven't already been to will probably be the NBA Finals. I'd love to go and see the Knicks at Madison Square Garden in the NBA playoff finals. That would be incredible.
Is it from WrestleMania by any chance?
It is. I went to that 6 years ago now. Yeah.
Where was it? Where was it?
It was in New York. It was at MetLife Stadium, which was fucking enormous.
Is that where the Jets play?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, where the Jets do their thing. And it was a bit of a fucking shambles getting out of it. They clearly overran the time. There was one train for 80,000 people, which I managed to get on, and loads of people were left stranded in the rain.
It's where the Giants play, not the Mets.
Oh, is it the Giants?
I thought that was. In my head, that was Giants Stadium, but there we go. That's why I went with Jets. I had no idea, but in my head it was I thought they just played at the Giants Stadium.
Right, I'm gonna go with a little quick fire round, and I just want.
Mine. What's yours?
Yeah.
The Masters. I said the Masters.
Yeah, you did say the
Masters.
Be great though.
Do you know a good thing about the Masters, Liam, is when you buy a ticket, you can go and upgrade your ticket for a chair, and you get one of them little camping chairs with your name on, and wherever you put that, that's your chair. And if you get up, someone can sit in it. But as soon as and there's like this unspoken like rule and of camaraderie between the patrons who are going, that if I want my seat back, the person just gets up and goes, all right, fair enough, your seat. But you can go in your green camping chair and you plonk it down next to the 18th hole, and whenever you want that chair, that's your chair.
A bit like the Sun Loungers in Benidorm.
Yeah, without the coolness. I don't know if that's anything like what we just said, to be honest. Right. Quick fire one word from each of you. Take it as you will. The first thing you think of when you hear this one word, and then I've got about 10, and we'll just fly through them. I want to try and keep things moving. So first thing you think of, Thunder Bastard.
Tony Yeboah.
SEN.
Gerrard was mine as well. That's the first thing. I can't think of what goal, but just 10 Gerrard goals qualify for me. First thing you think of if someone says, "Don't shoot."
Company.
Rudiger.
Self.
Luke Foley.
Company was mine as well. That's that one against Leicester, I think.
Yeah.
Leicester.
Best goal of all time.
Fucking hell.
What's the one that comes if someone's asked you actually your best? Maybe not the best, your favourite, whichever one.
You better not have
Hazard
said.
Liverpool.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Hazard Liverpool in the FA Cup.
Shout.
It's not a good show.
It absolutely is.
Best goal of all. Jesus Christ.
It's quick fire, mate. I'll tell you mine. I'll give you an extra.
Yeah, yours better not be Bergkamp. Fluke.
Just talk fluke. Got some gall on you after the day I've had. No, it's Crespo against Liverpool in the Champions League final to make it 3-0 first half. Kaká turns, someone plays an unbelievable pass. First time outside of the foot chip. Class. My favourite goal ever. I think it's the most technically beautiful goal ever. So that's mine. When I hear best goal of all time, that's the one I go to straight away.
I don't even know where to start.
Well, what's your favourite?
My favourite goal of all time.
Yeah.
It's not even that good, but my favourite goal of all time is Drogba against Everton, where he takes it down the chest and volleys. That's not really a volley because it bounces. It's not a half volley because it's hit on the up. But it's a volley technique over a stricken Tim Howard, innit? And
it's not exactly a shit goal, really. It's either.
No, but it's not. It's not the best goal ever because it sits up for him. But everything about that goal is amazing because it's prime Drogba just bullying everyone, and then just the knee slide after, like he owns that pitch. Yeah, that's probably my favourite goal of all time. Yeah.
Luke?
When you said what's the first goal, Van Persie, Polly. That's
which one?
The one where against Villa
against Charlton for Arsenal. No.
Yeah.
I want to change mine because we talked favourites. Balotelli's shoulder goal is my favourite goal of all time. I think that's the best thing I've ever seen on a football pitch. It's fucking brilliant.
Right. Well, that leads me on nicely to the next one. Arsehole.
Sorry?
Liam.
Just done it. Arsehole.
James McLean.
Oh, yeah. Good shout.
Pepe. Good shout. I don't know, because Diego Costa. I can't stand him. Yeah, but there's something that I always half respected about him as well. Like, arsehole, but...
He was good as well. He was good when he wasn't being
played. Ben Thatcher as well. That's the next one that comes to me. Fucking hate him. Barclays, man. You could tell when this list was written.
Barclays, man.
Anyone? Sharp? Come on, I'm trying to keep this podcast moving here.
Sure.
John Carew.
Kocher.
Kocher's in there.
Ivan Campo.
Morten Gamst Pedersen was the first one. First footballing hero.
Zola.
Per Franson. What?
Beckham. Michael Owen. Was mine.
Shit.
First thing you think of. This is your problem. I've not got to things that we fucking hate about the podcast, but you mumbling bullshit halfway through is the worst thing about this podcast. It's barely inaudible, so most people listening don't pick it up, and it's just me having to deal with the reaction in real time. I'm glad people can see the
I'd make a point of doing
shit I have
it when
to
you're
deal with.
speaking as well. So
Yeah.
it's just not only to annoy you, but also knock you off as well.
Right. Go on, let's flick through these. Champions League.
Real Madrid.
Ronaldo.
Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
ITV. Clive Tildesley. That's what I think of. The
I just
glory
think-
days.
Yeah.
Heineken.
The opening credits is
Yeah,
what I think of.
Heineken adverts with like orchestral music and like Hernan Crespo floating in midair, like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
World Cup.
Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil.
Yeah, mine's like, if the first thing I think of will be like, immediately go retro and think of like Deschamps or Cafu or someone like that. Just a player like that. That sticks in my head.
I always think in 1998 as well.
Yeah, that's the
Like,
one for us, isn't it?
Yeah, just everything about 1998. I think about 1998 World Cup all the time. Like that's what I just think about. Like
Luke.
It's the recent final. That's the first. I think that's the best game ever. It's got to
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
no,
Well, we'll
it's
get to
not,
that in a
but
minute.
that's fine.
Shut up. Big game player.
Drogba.
Yeah, Drogba.
Yeah.
No better
Yeah, I
big
know.
game player.
And Gerrard. Gerrard definitely a special mention to Steven Gerrard.
Last two. Nutmeg.
Uh,
I have a Kotra made again for some reason. I don't know if
Yeah.
I do one, but
Kocha and Joe Cole spring to mind.
I'd go Ronaldinho. That's what if I think nutmeg. Just Ronaldinho.
Neymar's a bastard for nutmeg as well, isn't he?
Neymar's so underrated, but yeah.
What a player! What a player!
Suarez.
Fair.
Windy rap.
Right. I'll tell you what. I've got more questions, but we have other things to be talking about. So, Scott, you had a quiz.
I do.
Going to be a
In-
couple of them.
In fixing football tradition, there is a quiz. It's short and sweet though, and it is 100 centurion themed, and it is football, not Romans. So I'm going to rapid fire them. There will be some bonus points available, which I will keep tally of. So the first question: who is the fastest player to 100 Premier League goals?
Haaland.
Is he there yet? Is he there yet, Haaland?
Jamie Vardy.
Salah.
So no, but I will give you bonus points if you guess the other 4 of the top 5 after the top guy. So who's everyone's answer for the fastest?
I'm going to go Haaland. I reckon he's there now.
Haaland.
I said Vardy, so I'm just going to stick with that. I know it's not now.
Everybody is incorrect. It's actually Alan Shearer. He got 100 goals in 124 games.
Yeah,
Oh.
pretty obvious. Just 'cause-
Absolutely obscene. Anyone want to hazard a guess for the other, whoever made up the rest of the top 5, the other 4 players?
Suarez
Look-
up there.
Lukaku.
Nope.
Henry.
It's a bonus point for Luke. No one can use Henry anymore.
Andy Cole.
Nope.
Van Nistelrooy.
Nope.
Didn't get 100 from the story.
No, he didn't. Shit.
Yeah, fraud.
Aguero.
Aguero, it's a point for Martin.
Right, how many have we got now?
3.
We have 2. There's 2 left because Shearer was the one, and you've got the remaining 4 from the top 5. So we've said Henry and Aguero. There are 2 others.
What's this? Come on, boys.
I know. I'm just...
I wasn't ready
mine's
for.
gonna
I wasn't ready
look
for.
wanky.
I wasn't ready for a quiz.
Michael Owen.
Nope.
Rooney.
Nope. His name's
Bobby
been said
Fowler.
already. No.
Well, then do we give the answer, haven't we? Or is it in
Probably.
a previous discussion?
No, that was when I was asking for the main guy.
Go
Well,
on.
that counts. Drogba?
Mike. Nope.
Vardy.
Nope.
Don't know then. I'm
But-
out.
but-
Wrap it up, Scott. Let's go. Let's move on.
Okay. Well, they were Mohamed Salah and Harry Kane.
I
The
said-
other 2.
Oh,
I said
said
Salah.
You said it at the wrong time. Doesn't matter, does it? If it's
That's fair. Scott's rules, Scott's quiz. Let's move it.
All right, okay.
question number 2. There are no bonus points for this one. You'll be glad to know.
There's no points by the way you're doing quizzes.
Yeah, well, you should be better. Fastest player to 100 goal contribution. So GA, as the tacticos like to say on Twitter these
Well,
days.
Haaland's definitely on that list. He's got to be number
Fastest
one.
So Liam's going with Haaland. Everybody else?
Saka.
Saka's guessing
Haaland.
Martin. Luke? Haaland.
Salah.
Salah. Nope. Liam is correct with Erling Haaland. Did it in 94 games, which is...
Yeah. That was recently, wasn't it? Was that
Yeah.
that was recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
See.
So we're tied. Everybody's got a point. Question number 3. Who is the slowest player to 100 goals? Who took the most games to get to 100 goals?
Oh, that's a good question.
Heskey.
Barry.
Liam's going with Heskey. Luke, what have you gone with?
Gareth Barry.
Gareth Barrett. Martin?
100 goals, Luke.
It's been around years.
Yeah, but
He's got about-
a player who... Anyway, yeah, go on. That Luke's
Could
on
it-
for Gareth Barry.
Could it be
Got about
someone like
6,000
Ronaldo?
Oh, Welbeck. Welbeck.
Could
No.
it be someone like Ronaldo? I'm going to go with that.
Go with Ronaldo. The answer is actually Ryan Giggs. And he
Oh.
took 530. I must admit, when I thought of that question, I was very disappointed that he was the answer because. But anyway, so we're still tied on 3 points. And here we go. In the 100 goal players list, which club is the most represented? Which club has the most centurions in the goal
Manchester
charts?
United.
Liam's going Man United.
Arsenal have 1, 2. I've got to say Arsenal because I think we got about 5.
Arsenal. Luke.
United.
Oh, is it Newcastle?
You gonna change it? You gonna change your
No, I'm
answer,
sticking
Liam?
with United. I'm sticking with
Stick with
United.
United. Everyone is wrong. It is Liverpool, unfortunately.
They've had a lot of good.
Sadly,
They've had a lot of good strikers actually. Liverpool, when you think of it, haven't they?
Nah.
a lot. I think. Well, they've got Mane and Salah in there already, and then that's before you even start thinking about actual strikers. So, yeah, fair play to Liverpool. Final question, and there are some bonus points on hand for this one. Similar question: how many countries are represented in the 100 goal player list? So, of everyone who scored 100, how many countries are there? And you will get a bonus point if you can name some of them. I'll give you points for naming.
Right. So I'm going to name England,
Spain.
France.
Are we not guessing an amount?
Should we guess the amount of different countries first?
Yeah, let's go. I'm going to go 13.
Hold on. How many's the list, Scott? Or in the top? How many people are in this list?
How many people are on the overall 100 list?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I reckon
Yeah.
it's in the late 20s. I'm
Yeah.
going to go with 8 different nationalities.
I'm going with 10.
8, 10,
Where did you go with, Luke?
13.
13. The answer is 11.
Oh,
Nah.
we're all in the ballpark, weren't we?
No.
Yeah, everyone was close. But yeah, if you want to try and throw out some of the names, Liam's already got one. Luke, do you want to try and throw out another country?
England, yes.
Argentina.
Argentina is correct. That is on the list. Martin,
Netherlands.
that is also correct.
We'll just round robin it. You go
France.
Yeah. Point for Liam.
Portugal.
No one for Portugal.
Shitbag, you're out. Martin.
Ronaldo's got 100 goals, hasn't he?
Nope.
No,
Not Premier League goals.
not in the list, unfortunately.
No. Fraud. Go on, Martin. It's between me and you.
We said Spain. Did we say Spain?
Yeah, he's for Spain.
We said Spain.
Spain's not in the list.
Italy.
Also not in the list.
Oh, so this is for the win for Liam.
Yeah, you can have this. If you get this, you win.
Is Zola not in the 100
No.
top 100? Ah.
I knew Italy was a faux pas in this. There's very, very few Italians in the Premier League, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's
big-
some there's
Did
some
no one say
random countries
Brazil?
in this.
Hang on.
Sorry.
I'll say it
For the win,
Sorry, Liam.
for a win.
I'm going to go with Ireland.
You would be correct. Robbie Keane is in there.
Yeah.
Honourable mentions: Ivory Coast is also in there. Egypt, Wales, Belgium, South Korea, and Trinidad and Tobago are also all represented in that.
White
list.
York.
Right, yeah.
White York. That's the end of the quiz. Liam, you are the winner.
Well done, Liam. Great quiz, Scott. Very well themed. Luke, you had a question you wanted to put to the rest of the team.
So been thinking this for a while. It stemmed from a conversation me and Scott was kind of going back and forth with, and is what is the best team like in our generation? Like, you can't have international now. Obviously, the obvious one is a Barcelona team, but I want to just throw a few at you, right?
So it's the actual club side, not like picking
not like
players to win a
international, like
team.
Brazil or France, yeah. So
Famously not teams, but okay.
yeah, I want to. So Real Madrid 2013. We've got AC Milan 2005, 2006. We've got Man City treble winners. And then we've got Barcelona 2008, and then Barcelona 2011, and then 15. I'd say them were the best. If you want me to give you some players out of the Barcelona team, so you can tell which ones from which year.
You missed a big obvious one here, mate. I don't have to say the word. I don't have to say it. You can.
The Invincibles don't make the list, man.
Well, they're number one then.
Matt,
your list must be off.
If we're going to put Martin Keown in this, then might as well start putting everyone in there. Like, it's like Ray Parlour's in above Iniesta in this. Anyway.
But if they went a whole season unbeaten, put them in. Do that.
Oh, I'd really go. Let's go with the Celtic team, shall we? Or the for the PSG are unbeaten this year. We're putting Ousmane Dembele in there as well. Like.
No, we're talking about serious leagues, and we've beat PSG already this season, so don't worry about that. No, in all honesty, I think about them great teams. I love the AC Milan one on paper because you can't take away from like them losing that final to Liverpool when that could have been the end. I mean, they ended up winning it the year after.
Yeah. Should I tell you the squad? Should I tell you the tick? I wrote the team down. So it's...
I think I can read it. I could tell you Shevchenko, Inzaghi, Seedorf, Kaká, Gattuso. I think it's Ambrosini, but there might be someone else in there in midfield. There's Maldini.
Pirlo.
Pirlo's there. Jesus.
Maldini, Dida, Cafu, Nesta, and Stam, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Like I can see that list on Pro Evo now. Like I can see that layout of that team. That I loved that team, but I don't know if it's my favorite. In all honesty, I think that Barcelona team that went through a little generation and a few tweaks here and there. When it came to like Henry dropping out and David Villa coming in, and then a few other slight changes, like Jordi Alba came into it a little bit later. Marquez dropped out and PK took over, and it's sort of all in a weird period where they were unbelievable. That's probably the best team I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's that team. So like the front six, if you will, of Busquets, Xavi, and Iniesta, and then Pedri, Messi, and Villa up front. That team was just.
It is. I do love
that's
Neymar.
Neymar,
Suarez, and Messi was pretty special as well.
And it was the 2015 team.
I think 2011 is better than 2015.
Me too. No, me too. I agree. But I did love the fact that it was like that Neymar, Suarez, and Messi was so special, and Suarez goes sort of unmentioned in that, and he was absolutely twatting goals in for fun.
Yeah, he was. But they're also on their knees now because of that team.
Yeah. What about the Real Madrid team then? 2013 with like Bale, Ronaldo, Benzema.
Barely won anything at that period.
They won because of Champions League every 3 times in a row.
No, with
then did they?
Yeah, when Bale arrived, but before that, when it was sort of transitioning out of Galactico craziness, and they had, because they've got Benzema, Kaká, and Ronaldo in the same year, and they weren't winning leagues, or because of the greatness of that Barcelona team.
Oh God, they had Kaká, didn't they?
They weren't winning.
That's
That was in
awful.
all in the same transfer window, Scott. That they went Benzema, Kaká, Ronaldo.
That's insane. Wow.
So, I mean, they had Ozil coming through, Khedira. They got some mad ones. Ozil was unbelievable for that Real Madrid team. They basically kept Kaká on the bench, who was meant to be like the creative genius in that team. Ronaldo went and did some daft numbers. I loved every variation of that Real Madrid team, but the greatness of that Barcelona one just kept them from winning stuff, and they weren't doing it in Europe until they tweaked it slightly, and Modric took over the midfield pretty much. And when it was sort of Modric, Cruz, Bale, that's when they'd gone on that dominating run in the Champions League.
Casemiro.
Yeah.
I wrote a team now, so it's Casillas, Carvajal, Ramos, Varane, Marcelo, Alonso, Ozil, Modric, Bale, Benzema, Ronaldo. That's some team.
What's your favourite, Luke? What do you think's the best?
Do you like that AC Milan team?
I think
There's
it's
something
more
about
nostalgic. Yeah. It's pretty nostalgic, especially Italian stuff. We don't get a lot of Italian football really on TV, especially then. So I think there's something a bit nostalgic about it as well.
Well, why don't you think the City team is the best winning the treble?
Because I hate them more than I hate the other.
I would put that second, to be honest. If you're asking me what I think the top three are, I'd go Barcelona 2011, City treble winning, and probably United treble winning third. The first United treble winning team.
Mm-hmm.
I think United's team in 2008 was better than the treble winning team with Tevez, Rooney, and Ronaldo. I think that was I think that's the best Man United team that I've ever seen.
I agree with that, Scott.
I think
Don't you think that team was better than the 99 team?
Miles better. I think it was miles better. I think they had
miles better.
Well, who did you have? You have Vidic, Rio, Evra. Who's in goal? Van der Sar was in goal. Right back was
Neville.
Still Gary Neville.
It was still Neville.
It was Wes Brown as well.
Yeah, Wes Brown played the Champions League.
Everyone's got a random, haven't they? Invincibles had Martin Keown,
Pascal Sagan.
Yeah.
We also had the Invincibles team's my favourite, but there's a lot of good ones in there. Luke, it's a good question.
Is it? Yeah.
What? It's
not one of the best teams ever, though, is it? If you're being serious, it's not, is it?
Right, okay, well, I'm not. I can't bother arguing, mate. You're just being silly for the sake of it. Scott, what was your team?
I mean, I'm going to be biased. Mourinho's first title win for Chelsea.
Because the 05 team.
Yeah, that's the team. Well, it still holds the record for least goals conceded.
Yeah, that was a ridiculously good team.
I think 9 from open play, which is how do you concede 9 open play goals in 38 games? It's a crazy achievement. You look back on that team now, Terry, and I think Carvalho probably doesn't really get talked about in the same breath as the likes of Vidic and Terry and stuff, but he was just as important to that team. He was fucking phenomenal alongside Terry. Ashley Cole was he there then? I don't know if he was there.
No, I think it was.
No, he wasn't. It was the year after.
Who was the left back? Was
Paulo
it Belletti?
Paulo Ferreira or something like that?
No, he was right back, wasn't he? He was a right back Ferreira, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Good question. Who was the left back?
Why am I blanking on who the left back was for us?
Did Jesper Gronka turn into a left back?
Was it Gallas?
Gallas could have been playing
William
more.
Gallas. Yeah, you're right. It was William Gallas. Yeah. And he had Czech in goal.
What that Chelsea team became in 05, in 06, 07, I think is the best iteration of that. Even though that team did maybe a more impressive thing, the team that became with Cole and Essien coming in and was just a freak show.
I knew it was. I didn't say the name out loud, but I wish I had done now. It was Delano. Alceo Delano and Wayne Bridge were rotated.
Oh, Wayne Bridge, of course, that's one. Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that midfield, Essien, Makalele, and Lampard as a midfield is, again, obscene. And then up top, and again, on paper, it sounds good now, but we had Iron Robben, who wasn't the Iron Robben that we came to know. He was decent, but not that great. And then you had Drogba, and I think Duff was one of the... Yeah, and
Duff was brilliant.
What a weird signing he was, but it just worked in that team and in that setup.
Duff was one of the best players in the world then.
Oh, you had
So that-
some. You had some mad signings in that run where Chelsea were going crazy under Abramovich. There were some fun signings and like great signings, but there was also some mad ones and like left field ones. Like I'm trying to think, was he called Stanic? Is that a player who came and scored like a random few volleys and then just like
Yeah,
went away
Mario-
again?
Yeah,
Mario Stanic, is that a player?
Yeah.
Am I getting that
Yeah.
right?
We've had a few really random.
Scott Parker went there then as well.
Scott
China.
Parker, like Yuri Zhirkov went there. He was meant to be the next big thing, and there's loads of them who came and went. Khalid
Marco-
Belarus.
Marco Marin. I remember him. I had all my hopes
Yeah.
pinned on Marco Marin. The German Messi, I was told, back in 2009 or whatever it was, and yeah, that didn't work out.
Anyway, Luke, good question, good topic. I have some listener questions I would like to get to. So deal with these however you want. I'm going to start with the first one. It's from our friend who did the podcast when we had musicians fixing football, the drummer Greg Gallagher. His question is, I'm going to say it's slightly directed at me. Are Arsenal going to bottle it in Madrid now the pressure's on, Martin? So obviously
God.
we're recording this.
You couldn't throw that away. No chance.
We are recording this the day after the first leg, so I'm going to leave that one, Greg. You are a massive Newcastle fan, idiot. The next question is from the Traction Engine podcast, who we're all familiar with. Which Premier League player from the 1990s, would be best suited playing today?
Bloody hell.
Wow. From the 90s.
Striker.
Let's
Just
think of
you-
it. Yeah, I think a big old striker that's come back around is the one in it.
Niall Quinn.
Fowler.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
Hasselbank is the shout. That is a really good shout.
Michael Owen. As well.
Owen,
by
Yeah,
the way.
yeah, probably would. Yeah.
I like the Hasselbank shout because that extra power and stuff. I mean, people love a quick forward, but
If you
Hasselbank had everything.
imagine Hasselbank's like his YouTube compilation going around Twitter now. If it was like you move his age to now,
Yeah.
and his comp was going around like Osman's does and all the rest of it, people would be queuing up to sign him.
I think
I can't wait.
Dennis Irwin as well at left back.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Irwin was ahead of his time really in terms
He
of.
was. I only found this out recently that he was right-footed.
Mm.
Played left back all these years.
He could have been inverted in the modern game, couldn't he?
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. So
No.
thank you guys for that one. Next question is the football historian. Who's the best player in the last 10, 15 years after Ronaldo and Messi? So take them two out of the equation. Who's the next
No,
best
I know
player
it's-
we've seen?
I knew Scott's going to say because he loves him.
You don't need to
Neymar.
answer for other people. Just answer for you.
After them
Trying
two.
to be objective.
I love Neymar, by the way, but he's not number 3 or 1 in this list.
If it- one of you is going to say this guy's name, and I'm going to have to smack you all.
I'm gonna go with Lewandowski.
Fair.
That was a name I was considering. Luke, anything other than that?
Salah.
Oh,
Painful.
I don't know why you two just every time I say it the
He's
numbers
awful,
don't lie,
mate.
boys.
He's
The numbers
awful.
don't lie.
yes, they do.
He's
They do.
awful.
Daniel Sturridge has 2 Champions Leagues. Does that number lie as well?
You know what? I had to check when you posted that today. I had to check how many times you paid for them Champions League squads, and it was like 4 times in each squad.
Yeah.
Take the medal off
Great.
him.
Who's mine?
Martin, go on, Martin.
Don't know. I was struggling. Best player last 10, 15 years. Iniesta, maybe. He's probably. I'm trying
Yeah,
to think.
Yeah.
Consider that.
Fuck off.
I'm happy with my shout. I'm happy with Lewandowski.
There's a
Neymar.
few.
Neymar is actually quite comfortable, I think.
Neymar, I really love. Neymar's probably on the list.
Modric,
Bale,
Modric as well.
Modric,
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
very good shout actually.
Kane.
Boring.
Oh, right, sorry.
Boring.
Anyway, Mr. Historian, your follow-up question was, what is everyone's favourite flavour of crisps? And I'll let you
Prawn
choose the brand
Prawn cocktail. Any
and
brand.
everything. That explains a lot.
Weirdo, Liam.
That explains a lot.
on, I'm on
Mr.
board with that.
Historian, you've exposed Liam here.
That's worse than
Anyone?
chicken.
Luke, you like ready? Luke, you eat ready salted. I've seen you.
Luke's unflavoured plain hotel crisps that you get are just plain.
Rinsed
I
off in
do.
the
I do.
sink.
That's what I like. I
Yeast.
add cheese and onion.
He eats digested biscuits dry as well.
Scott.
Prawn cocktail. I'm with Liam on this
Oh
one.
my god, there's another weirdo.
Weird.
What a plate.
These people are weird, man.
Just uncultured.
Although a cheese and onion McCoy's goes down a treat as well.
There's salt
don't
and
wanna
vinegar
talk about-
and everything. Oh, I do like pickled onion walkers. I like pickled onion stuff. Monster Munch.
Worcester sauce. as well. They're a
Hey,
good
that's
price.
back, by the way. I saw it
Nice.
again recently.
I can't talk about crisps. I'm trying to diet, and they're a proper trigger for me. I can't talk about crisps. So.
Thank you. Next question. A friend of the show, Mr. Tom Beck, submitted a
Tom B.
question.
Tom B.
Top 5. This is the owner of Live Health and Fitness. If anyone knows, the #1 gym in Chorley. So if you're around the northwest, go and have a look. Top 5.
That'll be 30
most-
quid, Tom, by the way.
Top 5 most influential people from the Premier League in the last 20 years. So owners, managers, players. I think we could put a list of 5 together
Fucking hell.
ourselves.
What, top 5. Pep Guardiola, #1.
Pep #1. It's got
Klopp,
to be.
#2.
No. Klopp.
Mm,
Who's copied anything Klopp ever did?
Oh, actually, I've got one. I've got number 2. The PIF Saudi Fund can go #2.
Roman Abramovich.
Yeah.
How many years was it? 20?
20. So 2005. Let's say I think Abramovich is Abramovich and Pep.
Yeah.
Maybe Mourinho as well.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that.
Influential people.
Yeah.
Ronaldo. Like
Ronaldo, I think, is a good shout.
every kid wanted to be Ronaldo. That's just how it was. That's influence.
Rooney. Is Rooney on the list?
Yeah, oh god, yeah, I think he might be. That's a good shout.
Influence, though.
Yeah, influence can.
Well,
It's a bit of a spectrum in how you define the word. I think how does it influence the people watching, the people around the game, other people within the game.
I'd say Gary Neville is up there. He's talking about influence.
That isn't a bad shout, you know. I don't.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
Can't shut the guy up.
can't fucking move for Gary Neville anyway. What a quiet night watching Dragon's Den. Oh, here he is. Back.
Right. I don't think we could put that into the top 5, but I think we've given some good answers there.
That's a good shout. Right, last question from listener. This is from the, you might like this one, the Adamola Bookman podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Best or worst football books you've read? Luke, this might not apply to you because you're still learning, but and if you have read or any football books, autobiographies, anything like that.
I've not read too many. I don't like autobiographies as a rule. I find them very difficult to read because I just think they're quite self-serving and so I find them very difficult to read in general. I have read Roy Keane's and I enjoyed that. That was I felt that was quite good because it's quite self-reflective about his mistakes, and I found Saipan quite interesting to read about. Obviously, to those that don't know, that was the incident at the World Cup with Ireland when he fell out with Mick McCarthy over the training ground and went home and missed the World Cup. So that was a really interesting thing to read about. So that
I
was
agree
good.
with you about the autobiographies. I read Jamie Carragher, and this is going to go for my worst because I'm not really like you. I've not really read too many. I read Jamie Carragher's. I started reading it. His autobiography, and it was self-serving. It was weird. It was just. It's too much of a. It was basically his version of the class of '92, just what his run through of the glory of Liverpool years, and
Oh, yeah. It'd be stuff like, I'd get home because I'm a Scouser. We all just played football. So I'd eat my tea as fast as I can just so I can go out and play football again. Like, it'd just be that for.
So I'm not saying it was a bad read, but I just stopped because it weren't doing anything for me. I've got 2 best, and it's the Dennis Bergkamp autobiography. A lot of them are going to be autobiographies, but his I was saying about were a bit self-serving. It wasn't. It was like he was more reflecting on tactics that he'd learned and stuff, and didn't really go into the Arsenal sides other than the stuff around his transfer and that. And It was more like things that Wenger had said, things that he took off Cruyff and Van Basten and Hullet, and then people around him when he was growing up in the academy and stuff like that. It basically, the book ends when he signs for Arsenal. He talks a little bit about it at the end, but yeah, it's a fascinating read. I would recommend it because it isn't like a Mr. Arsenal book.
Yeah.
It's interesting read. The other one that I want to mention was a book that someone recommended to me when I had a bad injury a few years ago, and I was like 29, and I was dead frustrated when I was doing the rehab stuff. And it's a book called Soccer Tough by Dan Abraham. I'm not sure. And there's Soccer Tough 1 and 2. And he is a psychologist I think he works now for the Aston Martin F1 team, but he's worked for like England Rugby, all various Premier League clubs. He was at Liverpool. He was at, was it Feyenoord who Slot won the league with? Is it Feyenoord? Is that right? He was with Slot during that as a player psychologist and stuff. It was very interesting book, and a book that genuinely helped me with techniques and dealing with my own frustrations about myself. It was really good. I would recommend it. I'll recommend listening to any podcast that he's on because he's very clever. So I couldn't recommend it enough for any. I wish I'd have read it when I was 18 and not 29.
Yeah, maybe I should read more football books because I tend to read a lot of history.
Yeah. Anyone else dealt with any football stuff? No.
I completed a sticker album in '99. that was nice flicking back through.
Right. For Liam, your section. What have you brought to the table this evening?
Mine's not too long, to be fair. I feel like we're coming towards the end of things now.
Is it guess the Aston Villa PSG score?
No. Although it'll be 3-1, so unlucky. Who knows? By the time this goes out, they could have completed a major super night at Villa Park. So, mine's and it is international football related, which I know doesn't count for Scott. But can you name the top 5 goal scorers in World Cups?
Oh, so it's a quiz.
Yeah. Oh, quiz everyone. Yeah.
Are we talking overall?
Overall goals over not a single campaign.
Can
overall
I fill in
top
some?
World Cups.
Luke, you start.
Closer.
Sorry.
Closer.
Miroslav Klose, number 1 top answer. 16 goals in 24 matches.
Ronaldo.
Which one?
R9.
R9, yes, second. 15 goals in 19 matches. Well done, Martin. Scott. Harder now.
Is it Baggio?
Baggio? No, that's incorrect.
I'm going to say, is Thomas Muller on the list?
Thomas Muller? No, he's not on the list now.
Thank God for that.
Let's rattle through them, Luke. Get some names out.
Kane.
No, Harry Kane's not on the list. There is an obvious answer in looking at you in the eyes here.
Gerd Muller.
Yeah, Gerd Muller is correct. Well, that wasn't what I thought when I said obvious answer, Martin. Fair enough. But yeah, probably the most prolific with 14 goals in 13 matches in World Cups for Gerd Muller.
Pele.
No, Pele's not on the list.
Fraud.
Yes, Lionel Messi. Well done, Luke. Lionel Messi was looking at you dead in the eyes with
Speaking of frauds,
13 goals in 26 matches.
Is that
there's
4
one more.
of the 5 here?
Yeah,
penalties.
there's one more. I'm not expecting you to get it, but I will give you a clue. And it's a tough clue. The name of the award for the top goal scorer. So the Golden Boot Award has a name.
Oh.
It's named after this footballer.
Platini.
French.
I
think. Yeah, he is French.
Just Fontaine.
It is just Fontaine, Martin.
Yeah.
Well done. Well, actually, definitely the most prolific. 13 goals in 6 matches during 1958. Yeah, the best campaign by a country mile. So well done, everyone. That concludes Liam's mini quiz that I prepared weeks ago for today.
That was a pathetic attempt, and I'm annoyed at you. If
Yeah.
anything.
I thought it was all right.
Right, I've got some last few questions we'll run through while we've been reflecting on
Ryan.
podcast and had a good chat. Yes,
Ryan,
Luke.
I've got something on brand which might be good.
I'm
like to
more
ask
impressed
you-
that you know what on brand is, but go on.
I'd like to ask you all, for this season, what would be your fix? If you're looking back now, what would be your fix for this season? If you
Can we
had to
finish
pick
on
one.
that?
Yeah,
Can we
okay,
finish
let's
with
finish
that?
on that.
I'll come back to that. So I've just got a few more questions that I want to rattle through. Right, one player each the player that you wish your club had signed, and then this can be at a certain point as well. So it doesn't have to be you wish you'd signed Ronaldo when he was 16 or whatever like that. It's like I wish I'd invested in Apple when I was 10. Like,
Okay, I've got two answers for this. So number one was Rivaldo when that nearly happened for Bolton.
that would have been such. Was
Yeah.
he about 36 though then, or something like that? He was-
34, yeah, he went to Olympiacos instead, but he was at the ground for a couple of days in the hotel. It was genuinely close to happening apparently. So that's number one. That's just obvious why that is. The second one's less obvious, but Bolton fans will know this one. The Lukas Djukovic, when we had him on loan for the second half of the season, was the missing piece to Dougie Freeman's Bolton team. And had we signed him, I think Bolton's history would have been very different because he was an unbelievable loan signing for us from Everton. But Burnley went up that year and they signed him instead.
Right,
And
yeah.
Our futures drifted apart. So I think if Bolton had assigned Djukovic at that point, which they apparently were, again, it was done. Well, not done, obviously, but everything but done. And then it wasn't done. So yeah, they're the two for me.
Mine is David Villa. I think we were really close to signing him when he eventually went to Barcelona, and it was just they were just at a moment when, as soon as their name came in the hat, it was going to happen. But apparently that was close to happening, and I think that's one that would have been gone really well for us. So that's mine.
Well, I got two. So the first one is Ronaldinho, who was very, very close to signing Ronaldinho.
Remember that?
Was that from PSG?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then we went on to buy Ronaldo.
It was the year Beckham left, weren't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And then something quite recent is Jude Bellingham.
Fair. Both fair shouts.
Yeah, we wined and dined him, and it wasn't enough.
Well, you had one as well, didn't you? Because you wouldn't give Haaland a release clause. But Haaland wanted to sign for United, but United don't do release clauses. Was the thing at the time, wasn't it? I feel like I would have got him through the door and tried to keep him there. That would have been my strategy, I think. But yeah, Scott.
So there's a lot that I can. The amount of fucking business.
Who have you not signed? You can't. Yeah. You must. You can't. There can't be anyone you haven't signed. It can't be.
It's going to be Neymar again, this one.
He was, again, the thing is, every top player over the past 50 years has probably been close to signing for us at one point, and we've had some sort of link. Neymar, I think we were in the conversation because he had his medical at Madrid, didn't he, first, and that's famously what Barca used to sign him. They used his Madrid medical. I think we were sort of, at that point, we were in the conversation, but I don't think it was ever really.
Be a short conversation, but yeah, fair enough.
So I think the two that I think have to stick out, because I know that these were very, very close to actually being done, is Luka Modric. We were very, very close to signing him from Tottenham before he went to Real Madrid. He actually put a transfer request in to come to us, and Daniel Levy refused to do business with us, and Modric was quite upset, but then he ended up getting his move, I think, the following year to Real Madrid. So seeing how his career turned out, that one stings a little bit. And there's absolutely loads that go over. Players like Van Dijk run through my head. That could have been something that he was close to coming to us at one point. Alisson, again, in recent times. But I think the main one, sticking with Liverpool, Steven Gerrard. There was a point where he'd handed his request in. I think we'd pretty much agreed to pay him. I can't remember what it was at the time. It was a lot for the time. It was like 2004. I think it was 2005. Mourinho's first or second. It was his second year, and he wanted to leave and come and win some titles, and he got persuaded not to do so. I'll
That
put it
would have been
politely.
mad, wouldn't it? To see Gerrard move to Chelsea would have been.
It was very
mental.
close. It's very much a forgotten part of
But
career, but it was
yeah.
close, wasn't it?
Liverpool fans conveniently forget about that little saga when they're talking about their hero.
It's very similar to Rooney when he was flirting with City, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Quite
Yeah.
familiar with it.
yeah. I don't know if
Yeah.
Rooney was serious, but
I don't think Rooney. I think Rooney was just after a pay rise. I think
Yeah.
that's all that was. But I think Gerrard was seriously looking at his prospects at Liverpool and thinking, I ain't going to win anything. And Chelsea at the time were the team on the up.
it
And
makes sense, doesn't it? It makes sense that you would have those thoughts. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I'll just So I'm trying to keep this moving. Favorite Liam. In fact, this one's just for you. Dream podcast guest.
what in general? What if
Yeah.
everyone in the world?
No, just
Well, we
Ireland, of course.
well-
Whoever you
Well,
want.
we nearly got Mbappe, but you deleted the tweet.
I didn't nearly get Mbappe. Our first tweet from the account.
Come and do our podcast at Mr. Mbappe.
Didn't even at him. Didn't even the right one.
We were playing the waiting game, and you just deleted it. We'll never know if we'll get Mbappe.
Fair. Yeah, my fault.
So who would I want on the podcast as an absolute dream guest? I would want. Who would I want? I would want Pep Guardiola as the dream guest. I feel like there's a lot to talk about there. I don't want to ask him how much he knows.
I don't want to.
More boring to talk to than fucking
No,
Guardiola.
I don't want to speak
Oh,
to someone who does a million podcasts.
I want to get under his skin. I want to ask him those questions that he like really gets angry about.
Why are you bald?
Or I want to get Arteta and ask him, does he think we should have bought a striker? Do you think Arsenal should have bought a striker, Mikel?
Yeah.
I'm not answering this question. It's not.
Right, for everyone, what other YouTubers, podcasters, content creators outside or inside of football do you rate, think are good, listen to? Is there anyone else out there that you like or you think are doing good things?
It's very left field. This is nothing to do with football or any sport for that matter. So
No.
I don't even know if you want to hear it. But I listen to The Rest is History quite a lot. And I quite enjoy that. I think it's a guy called Tom Holland and I forget the co-host name, but one of them is definitely called Tom Holland. And they do a lot of series they do like a 4-part series on the French Revolution or the War of 1066 and all the rest of it. And they're quite enjoyable. I do like those. I think they're doing good stuff.
Luke, you're a big content guy.
To be honest, mine's the same as Scott. I listen to that as well. I really enjoy that as well.
I have noticed you've asked me quite a lot of history questions in the last few months, Luke. Quite randomly asking me about random historical events. Is that where this is coming from?
Reminds me when
From that
Joey.
podcast.
You remember on Friends when Joey buys that one encyclopedia, but it's all the letter V. It's like whatever episode this week Luke wants to talk about in the
Yeah,
podcast.
he
in the
throws
group.
some in there, doesn't he? Like, I can't remember what he did. Which one was the most recent one where you asked me a question? I was like, I was sort of like, yeah, I remember this.
It's usually
What?
some World War II thing with you, isn't it?
Don't know. I know I've done a lot of reading about World War II.
No, I'm saying what Luke would have
Oh
put
yeah,
to it.
I don't know why.
A certain part of World War II, Liam's expert in.
Again,
Moving
more
on.
cloak and daggers from Luke. Who knows what we're talking about here. Favorite memories from your playing days?
They were short.
Maybe not one for you, this Scott. Must have some. If you could go back in time and only play 5-a-side for schoolboy era, the legendary schoolboy era, or your peak 11-a-side years time.
Teams. I do actually have one from the school football days, which actually it was more funny than anything. It was actually really bad for our team, but it was just fucking brilliant. So I picked the ball up, played it down the wing because I was sort of in the midfield for this game. I played it down the wing. Someone picked it up, and it was a game where it had been torrential rain. It had been pissing down for ages and ages. It was horrible. And around the goal line, a puddle had formed, quite a big, substantial puddle that the goalkeeper kind of had to like do a bit of almost like a semicircle around the front of it to get around and not just get pissed through. And the ball ended up getting cut across the goal, and I can't remember who it was for the team. It fucking escapes me now. But ball fell to him, and he hit it, and it was an open goal because the keeper had like committed elsewhere, and he like turned and ran to celebrate, but the ball just boom landed in the puddle and didn't cross the line, and he's ran off celebrating, and everyone's going, "Fucking turn around, and the fucking ball's up there!" And then before he'd realised, keeper had picked it up, and the chance was lost. But that was fucking hilarious.
Best moment, I think. There's always a game I remember where we played away at Farnworth for St Mary's. They were always interesting games.
Oh.
I don't know if this was in your team, but I remember we were losing 2-1 with 1 minute to go, and we'd committed everyone forward. I was playing right back, and they played a long ball, and I sort of half cut the ball out, and we got the ball to Andy Whittle, who used to play for us at left back, and he scored the most deflected long range goal ever in like the 93rd minute or something like that. And we all went absolutely nuts for it being Farnworth, because every time we went there, we got absolutely battered. So we drew 2-2 away there. And the year before, I'd been sent off there. So it's quite nice for that to happen. It was quite unusual for me to get sent off as well. That didn't happen an awful lot. So I always sort of remember that being quite a nice moment.
You don't have to lie about stuff. People, no one's going checking up your Wikipedia here, mate. You got sent off more than most. Let's say that.
Nah, lies.
More than me and Luke put together.
Well, yeah, probably more than you and Luke put together. And I probably played for half the time. You and Luke ended up playing as well.
So,
I had 4 sendings off.
I was thinking about this after I wrote this question. Like, I was trying to think of if I remembered things. You know, one of the questions was going to be, like anything that coaches taught you or managers, if like it was influential while we were playing football. I played a lot longer than you two, but I can't remember ever listening to a manager. It was just always in my own head.
No, I did.
It was
always Darren Lowe for me. Darren used to talk me right up. He used to give me the biggest pep talks you could give anyone. And I'd walk out thinking I was the best. And I was never the best player, but I'd walk out thinking I was, because Darren he put everything in me.
Yeah.
So yeah, Darren Lowe, definitely. Like I'd 100% him.
For me, mine was, I can remember a couple things that random people said to me. Not random people. Barry Lord, for our year 8 PE teacher, was a really good one at the time. I remember a few things that he said to me, but I never listened to him. I knew where I was playing, and I pretty much knew my job without them having to tell me the job. And I was just in my own head with it. I never listened to tactics.
We were never really coached like you are now. We were never really coached.
Even there was very few things when I, moved up to better levels and stuff, and it was never. There were never things I would take on board much. I just do it in my own head a little bit with it. There's never, and so anyway, that never become a question. Well, I was just trying to remember, like, my favourite things from playing days were just being part of the team and winning stuff were the best days. So whenever they came around, and I was lucky that they came around a good bit. But yeah, they're my favourite things. If I could go back now, I would, to my peak playing days, because they're the best days. Before you have kids and responsibility.
I suppose for me it's not actually probably a game. I can probably mention a few games that are memorable, but it's that period when every day we'd go down to Bolton Arena, like in that summer, and we'd get there about 10 o'clock, and we'd leave at like 6 o'clock, and it would just be that every single day.
Just pay for an hour.
Yeah, that was such a good time. Like,
yeah, you don't think how little you had to care about that, because when you're 16, you have the weight of the world on your shoulders anyway. You think you do, and you think you have so much to deal with. It's just unbelievable how free you actually were when we just had all day to play football in our socks.
Yeah, because
it was constant though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
we went like every day we did it.
We weren't those kids that like went out doing stuff, do we? We just literally
No.
just, especially at that, like 15, 16 we were. And that's not young really. But we were that age and we were just playing football every day.
Yeah, I feel very fortunate that we had that childhood, given what things are like nowadays. And I see with in my child and future children what the world is now. Feel that like they probably won't be able to go out on the street and play football and walk a few miles to go and have a kick about on a field somewhere. The world's different. So last question from me, and then we'll finish up with Luke's and round up. But we're all of a certain age now, Liam, and you brought it up a while ago. Yeah, you. And I'm very senior here. I was gonna say we're all 35, but only I am. Vets football, I now qualify for.
Oh dear.
I know, and I'm starting to wonder if it would be a good idea to go back. The answer is no. I have total fear about playing football and getting injured, and it's not something I'm interested in. It's not. I love it. I love watching it. I love thinking about myself probably a lot better than I actually was. But yeah, the idea of me is probably a lot better than the reality of me now. So, but Vets football, you're now into your running and your fitness again, Liam.
It is actually an idea of mine. I think I've got a season at centre back in me.
What would you do it to try and round up the troops and get a group back, or would you be happy just going playing with and seeing who's around?
I think I'd struggle to round up the troops and get a team together, to be completely honest. If Tunner can't do it, then I can't do it. But yeah, I think I've got a season in me. But it depends how the fitness goes. I need to drop at least another 3 stone before I can start thinking about that, I think.
Luke, you
No. I really sometimes I do really miss, the pre-game, like in the change room and like the team bit. I do sometimes miss that, but I just can't with my running stuff. It's too the impact's like I'd be injured straight away. Even kicking the ball, I'd be scared to do.
Scott, you never really got into playing, really. It wasn't through. I'm not saying like you were never a good footballer, but it's never really something you took to a lot, other than 5-a-side for a couple of seasons, maybe.
No, yeah, I did really enjoy 5-a-side. I think one thing I think I struggled with is that people took it far too seriously for my liking. I found that people in like whatever, I don't know what level it would be called, Sunday League or whatever it was, I found like we all know Matty. He told me about how he like had to play with broken ribs once. Like what do you mean you had to play with broken ribs? It's fucking Sunday League. No one's paying you to do this shit. Like, but it was like
a special case, to be fair.
But I don't think he is, because there's this like I feel like you get sucked into the whole like your team gets to a cup final and you treat it like the biggest thing. You're nervous on the day. It's like, what the fuck are you on about? It doesn't mean anything. So I think I always struggled with translating it from when you're playing cuppies as a kid. What a game that was, by the way. And you sort of pretending to be your favourite football. And then there's like a weird transition period where you actually think you're a footballer because you're in a somewhat organised environment. And I just never really enjoyed it. I preferred 5-a-side because it was just a bit more casual. It was a bit more chilled. And yeah, I think I did realise that I'm not the most athletic person. I'll put it that way. I'll stand in a gym and lift weights all day long, but moving my body around is not something I've been very good at. So something I'd maybe like to improve in another way. But yeah, I always enjoyed the 5-a-side element because it was quick. It was just more fun. I just didn't really enjoy the more organised elements of full 11-a-side football, I don't think.
Well, right, Luke, let's finish up with your question. First of all, I've enjoyed this. It's good. I'm glad we're going to be moving on to video on a consistent basis now, Liam. So we'll be able to expand on the podcast a little bit and see where it takes us from now. But as saying that, Luke,
as you're the host, I think you should go first. What would be your fix for this season?
But in what way? What do you mean? What has come up this season that I would like to fix, or what? How would I fix this season?
Yeah, no, no. What has kind of been the kind of reoccurrence you've seen this season where you think, right, this is what we need to fix. This is
Right.
really done my head in.
I'm gonna harp on about this, and it's never gonna change. But I can't stand VAR. I think it has been the worst thing that has come into the game in a long time. Maybe the worst ever. Now, if we can get to a situation with VAR where, well, the things like that aren't subjective, like goal line technology and like offside, right? They are the black and white, really. You just have to fine tune the rules around however you decide them things, but they can be made black and white. So technology can help there. Yes or no, noughts and ones. That's what a computer does. A computer doesn't help, and we have seen this with subjective decisions, like a foul, like a handball, like a whatever. They just don't help. So how is having replays and all that shit helping the game, helping the product, helping stuff on TV and for people in the stadium? How is it helping or making the game better? You might point to one or two decisions that it's got right and overturned. Fair enough. But on the whole, I think it's horrible for the game. And for anything that is subjective, leave it to a subjective decision. Goal line technology works fine. Get these offsides working fine. Whatever else you can think of that is black and white, make technology, make it work. But anything that's subjective and keep replaying it, there's no need for it. And I think it's wasting everyone's time. So anything like that, Luke, any subjective VAR decision, bin it off. Fix the whole fucking game. And I think that's why I'm going to do this podcast until that we get to that point.
Liam?
Mine's an easy one. It's get rid of 3 p.m. blackout. Completely pointless. Serves nobody. Everyone who wants to can access the games by unfair means, and all that does is put money into black markets, which benefits nobody. So better distributing that money into the game itself. So it's a very simple one. It's time to get rid of 3 p.m. blackout.
Good shout out, Liam. I like it.
Thank you.
I think football is harder to watch now, and a lot of it is. I think that the standard of punditry and commentary is in the toilet these days. I think it's really, really poor. I don't think there's anybody who really narrates the game that well that it's enjoyable. Like when Martin Tyler was doing it and he was in his peak, he added something to the experience. I don't think anybody's doing that now. And some of the pundits that they get on, and I think this can expand out into the YouTuber audience who get into the football sphere through playing FIFA online or whatever it is through Twitch. Like we see people like Speed at the Ballon d'Or. What the fuck is he doing there? And not even just there, he's a prominently featured person at the event. And I almost feel like football's, for lack of a better term, whoring itself out for clicks and attention. And I think the game's bigger and better than that.
This is going to be a future episode, by the way. But yeah, I totally agree. The influx of YouTubers, and it's only because the big companies like Sky are scared. You mentioned Baller League earlier, but that's getting 200,000 people watching it live on YouTube, and that's just for random ones. Like, I don't really know much about it. I went and I looked at some of the figures. That was just live concurrent viewers. It was fluctuating between 200. The opening day one was like millions watching it live. When Sky are trying to show League One at the same time, I'm not just picking on Bolton like I was the other night in the group chat, Liam, but there was other League One matches on the other night, weren't there, on the Sky Sports Plus? I bet none of them were getting 100,000 viewers, but they are on YouTube with promoting this Baller League. So why wouldn't they get Angry Ginge and God knows whoever else you want to, all these other YouTubers involved in some products, because that's what kids are watching.
Yeah.
In fact,
I completely agree.
There's a big one at the moment, Aaron Hunt, he was a FIFA YouTuber guy. I don't really know him, but I looked him up when he's bought Daisy Hill Football Club, which is one local to us. and he's making them into a bit of almost like a Dorking Wanderers style club where he's going to be making them more visible via YouTube and Twitch and stuff. And they're getting 1,000 people down watching DayZil, which is yeah. On the opening night of Aaron Hunt's thing, it was a Wednesday night, and there was 2,500 people there.
Good part of the world, that. I play cricket with DayZil. It's good, nice part of the world.
But they are Northwest Premier League team.
Yeah.
It's like the 11th tier of English football. It's
these people with an audience, the power. Like, speaking of speed, funnily enough, he was in the Royal Rumble this year, Mark.
Yeah,
it was an actual entrant. And funnily enough, like the clip of him being in it is the most viewed clip from that on YouTube.
Of course.
And it's just, again, it's probably a job for the episode, but
yeah,
how do you combat people with that kind of following? But I think it just changes the game for the worse.
Go on, Luke.
Luke, wrap us up, mate.
Teams in our football.
Say that again.
Get rid of them. Ban them. Anything American, just get rid of it. Club owners, influence, whatever American, just get rid of it. I don't care.
Like
They don't
Clint
bring
Dempsey.
any benefit.
Pause light, get rid of that.
The Glazers have stung you pretty bad, haven't they, mate?
They're a disease.
Okay.
They're a disease.
Good. Some xenophobia to finish off.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone who's been listening for 100 episodes, over 200 hours of us talking absolute nonsense, me shouting at Liam behind the scenes, and the three of these in the WhatsApp group being very angry with them for a good time now. We've had a lot of fun, though, and I'm really appreciating the journey so far. So thank you for sticking with us. Please stick around. Do all that good stuff by liking, sharing, subscribing. Follow us on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Spotify. You can find all the information for that. Where?
On our website, fixingfootballpodcast.com.
I said it first.
Thank you, everyone. Cheers, guys. I love you all. Appreciate it.
Goodbye.
See you soon.